I was 6 years old. I lived in Saudi Arabia. I was born in Saudi Arabia. One day my father burst into my room. He just had the biggest smile on his face. And he was like, "We're going to New Zealand." And I was like, "What is New Zealand?" And he pulled out a travel guide and he showed me all of these pictures of New Zealand. And you guys, it was luscious greens, snow-capped mountains, mirrored lakes, and white people. There was so many Gemma. I had never seen white people in real life. I had only seen them on TV. So I saw those pictures and I thought, we're going to TV. My parents had a different reality though. A reality I didn't understand and they couldn't articulate yet. My parents said, the kids in New Zealand, they can read and write really well. And if you can't read and write at their level, you're going to be left behind. So every day before bed, pull out an English story. First I would read a word and I would stumble, and then a sentence, and then days and months passed, until eventually I could read an entire page. It started being something that I was good at, but no matter how good I got at it, my parents always reminded me that there were these Shakespearean New Zealand kids. To be, or not to be, that is the question. So we get to New Zealand. On my first day in school, I am terrified for most of the day. After lunchtime, the moment arrives. The teacher pulls out a book. And she goes, "Class, like we've been doing, I'm going to read a page, and then I'm going to pass the book around the class." The book that she pulled out, it was a literary classic. Some of you may have heard of it. Harry McClary. From Donaldson's Dairy. If you don't know Harry McClary, it was a book about resistance, if you think about it. It was an assortment of different dogs, different sizes, shapes, and colours, but they got together for a mission. And that mission was to go to the dairy, and they bombed the dairy. And so the teacher opens up the book, she reads the first page, and she goes, "Harry McClary from Donaldson's Dairy, out of the gate and out for a walk." And then she gives the book to a kid, his name was Jacob. Jacob looks at the second page, and he goes, Hercules. She's like, "Hercules, sweetheart." Hercules, Morse. As big as a horse, sweetheart. Horse. And then he handed the book over to Alison, and then Alison stumbled over a few words, but she got to the end of her sentence, and then she passed the book on one by one. Each of the students stumbled over almost every word. I was feeling pretty good. I thought, I'm gonna fit in. And I thought, when the book comes to me, I'll throw in a few mistakes. I'll give them a little something. The book comes to me. I got so excited to show them that I'm one of them. I looked at my passage, I took a deep breath, and right before I started speaking, the teacher went, "Now, class, Khaled is from Saudi Arabia, and in Saudi Arabia, they speak Arabic. So Khaled might not be able to read as well as you, but that's okay. We're still going to be very supportive." And then Jacob pipes up and he goes, "He's not going to know how to do it." And the teacher goes, "That's okay, Khaled. You don't have to do it if you don't want to." And I said, "I'll fucking do it." I look at my passage and I go, "Harry McClary from Donaldson's Dairy. Muffin McClay, he was like a bundle of hay. Bottomley pots all covered in spots, and Hercules Morse Jacob. As big as a horse. Out with a skip and out for a walk, Harry McClary from Donaldson's Dairy." Shut the book. How good it felt in the moment, and it did feel good, but it was a trap. It was a moment that cemented during a very vulnerable time in my childhood where my identity was forming. That to belong, I had to perform better than everyone else. I had to do something that they did not have to do. No, I couldn't see it because it felt too good. The whole point of the book was it was a bunch of dogs that belonged, no matter what they looked like. The message was in the literature. Read the fucking book, miss. If I go back in time to Lindley Dodd writing the book, rest her soul, I'd be like, add another character. Add Ahmed the Terrier from Saudi Arabia. Just when we were learning about all dogs belong, she's like, don't forget class, Khaled is from Saudi Arabia.